I'm sure you must have seen what has transpired. It is getting from bad to worse. I'm not sure, on whom the blame can be pinned at this stage, but this only compounds Mahua Moitra's problems, walking out and, as alleged, abusing, quote unquote, the panel chief, whatever your grouse may be.
No, this abusing, quote unquote, then she'll say that she was personally insulted. That's also quote unquote. All that is within the parliamentary committee. None of us have any privy to that. So I think that's unfair. There are two questions that need to be asked. Point number one, what is this cash that Mahua Moitra has written? Now, if the basis of this complaint is that letter by Hira Nandani or that affidavit by submissive Hira Nandani was so dominated, the two very pertinent questions that nobody is asking is, if Hira Nandani is so submissive to be dominated by Mahua Moitra and he wrote this letter, in that same letter which is now gossipal, why is the cash component not written? And what constitutes expensive gifts? As per Mahua Moitra, it's 2 lipsticks. Mr. Hira Nandani says some expensive gifts. He's not specified. So what are these expensive gifts?
You're missing the point. Actually, as far as the ethics question is concerned and the ethics panel is concerned, they're not really judging this because they're not the authority to do so. They're fundamentally looking at the basic question of whether as a parliamentarian you should have given out your login and password to an independent third party. That independent third party being a businessman in this case who allegedly has access to your account sitting overseas. Tehseen, that's the fundamental question Mahua Moitra faces in front of this agency. The other questions may come in front of other agencies.
So that particular question, again, that's a very grey area. Should she have given her password? My personal opinion, no. But where is the illegality? Everybody is giving their password to everybody.
But that's why I'm saying this is not an illegal issue. It's an ethical issue as a parliamentarian. And this panel has the right to determine whether you have breached that ethical boundary or you have demeaned the house by your actions. It's not always about legal or illegal.
That's true. So they will look at it as ethically, but ethically others are also giving it to their OSDs and their PAs.
But there's a difference, no?
Now there's a massive difference. I agree with you. Now there's a massive difference in giving it to your OSD and PA. I completely concede to that point. Completely concede to that point. Then giving it to submissive Hira Nandani, who's so submissive that if some other Chinese person would have asked him for the password, he would have given it, and the system could have been. I completely agree to that. But I've read these rules of the Parliament very, very, very carefully, and no rule has been framed that makes it a legal issue. But as far as morality is concerned,
not even morality. Don't bring morality into this. Pure ethics.
No. Ethics
as a parliamentarian, not even as a person.
Ethics and morality. Now, morality is Hema Malini was endorsing a water brand and she was asking questions. So that I'm taking, she was a thing. So I agree with you. That question is very serious and Parliament needs to draft rules. But the legality of it so far, I have not been
But then what explains, at least my colleague was reporting earlier, that Mahua Moitra herself has made this about a jilted ex-partner, right?
Yeah, that's
precisely her premise, and by her own words, nobody else has done that. In fact, mostly we've dealt with these stories as completely two different episodes, one of the dog concern and the custody battle and what has transpired otherwise. She has made it repeatedly about the fact that this is an ex-jilted lover with an axe to grind. And then you cannot be uncomfortable when questions get asked either on your conversations or your calls. I'm not sure what filthy question was asked today, but of course you'll have to provide for those details. Walking out of a panel like this, it robs you of your chance to defend yourself. Tehseen, very quickly before I open this up.
So I'm not her legal advisor, but I think one thing that Mahua is guilty of, and I've told this publicly and her, is choosing the wrong friends. I think she's completely guilty. If this ex of hers had such an officer of the court and has so much respect for the law, while his then girlfriend was doing wrong things, he should have gone to the court and complained. He should be going to the court.
Did that person make Mahua Moitra give out her login and password?
That is precisely the point. If today he's coming out and saying this password was given, these expensive gifts were taken, while he's an officer of the court, he should have given it. Now when the relationship is over in an acrimonious way, he suddenly become Mr. Gossipal, the clean.
You're not getting the point I'm making. This is fundamentally not interesting to any of us. This is, this is not what we want to focus on. We just want to focus on, as a parliamentarian, did you share your password or
there's one who can have a conversation. So allow me, I get your point. You asked me the question of Jay. I didn't go on Jay's question. Since you asked me, allow me my way of rebutting.
I didn't ask you a question on Jay. I
you
said,
did. You said
walking out of the panel like this.
No, you said she's brought her ex.
Yeah, she did.
Here the record.
That's a matter of,
that's
a statement of fact.
Correct. So allow me to rebut that statement of fact.
Go ahead, quickly.
Thanks. So I would have finished by now. Let me be very brief on two issues. That this ex of hers, who has an acrimonious relationship and today is witness to all the wrongs she did, does not make him Mr. Clean. If he was in a relationship and she was doing something wrong, he was duty bound to report it to the court. So he's not smelling of roses. He's hanging out with Nishikant Dubey, who's in this committee. Number two, I agree and I concede on the point of ethics and morality, yet I don't feel there is the legality issue so far, but it is stupid and ridiculous to give your password to anybody in Dubai, especially to submissive Hiranandani.
Okay, let BJP's Priyanka Tibrewal come in. Tausif Khan, lawyer and political analyst, leans towards the TMC, is also joining us. Priyanka Tibrewal, you know, this is also becoming a bit of a problem for BJP. I say this only because, you know, if you have a parliamentarian being called into an ethics committee meeting like this, and I understand that she's not an MP when she's presented before this panel, but there has to be some sort of sensitivity with which all issues have to be dealt with. Now, if Mahua Moitra is making a very serious charge that quote-unquote filthy questions were asked of her, that is a problem.
Shivani, I'll answer to that, but let me also tell you the allegations which you are giving now on BJP. You are saying that BJP is becoming a problem for BJP.
Because it seems like this is a case that is being pursued, particularly by the BJP. I think we
Shivani,
can say that.
Allow me, when you have questioned me, allow me to answer.
Okay.
So this committee is the ethics committee, and it is not only comprised of BJP. There are opposition parties also and opposition parties, MPs also, who are part of this committee or member of this committee. Now today madam goes and she feels that, you know, very unethical and filthy questions have been asked. It is nothing. It is just a tactic to, evade whatever questions were being asked today because she doesn't have answers to them. Now see, what could be more filthy? From the very first day, as a spokesperson of BJP, I have been saying, madam, we are not interested in your personal life. We are not interested in your ex-boyfriend, the jilted relationship, the tilted relationship. But it is she who is continuously saying that, no, there has been acrimony in the relationship. She wants to speak about this.
Okay.
So what more the committee would have asked her? They would have asked her about the gifts. That is what I'm assuming because I do not know what questions have been asked. They would have moreover, they could have asked her about, her 18 times visiting Dubai unprofessionally without any professional work. Moreover, about the sharing in of login ID and password and the gifts which she has got and her relationship with Mr. Hiranandani. And moreover, like Mr. Tehseen was saying, everyone, many other people and the OSD and the secretaries, they have login ID and password. So is Hiranandani the OSD of Mahua Moitra? No. Are his office workers the OSD or secretary or PA to Mahua Moitra? No. So why was it shared? That is the main question. Now she's saying that they were asking me why I was speaking to whom in the night. Of course, when the questions were placed, when it was, logged in from Dubai, they will ask that at what time, with whom you have discussed, with which questions. Now she feels it is very unethical. It is not ethical to share your login ID and password, but this is very filthy if the truth is asked to you, because truth is uncomfortable. That is the only reason.
Okay,
See, look at her body language, look at her behavior.